Did you know that in 1922, an isolated German farm became the center of one of the most baffling and chilling mysteries ever recorded? It's a case that has baffled investigators, historians, and amateur sleuths for over a century. This is the untold story of the Hinterkaifeck murders. Stop scrolling if you dare, because what lies ahead is a chilling journey into the unknown. Hinterkaifeck was a small, desolate farmstead nestled deep in the Bavarian countryside, miles away from the nearest neighbors. For the Gruber family, it was home. Andreas Gruber, the cantankerous patriarch, lived there alongside his wife, Cecilia, their widowed daughter, Victoria, Victoria's children, and their young maid, Maria Baumgartner. Together, this six-member household seemed unassuming. That is, until the horror unfolded. 6 months before the murders, Andreas began to tell neighbors of strange occurrences on the property. We're not talking about minor disturbances. Andreas swore he'd found footsteps leading from the forest to his house, but none leading back. That was only the beginning. He also reported hearing disembodied footsteps in the attic late at night. Tools mysteriously vanished, only to reappear in odd places. One night, an unfamiliar newspaper appeared on the property. It was all too strange, but not enough to prompt action. Andreas shrugged it off, thinking perhaps he was imagining things, as he had a reputation for being skeptical of the supernatural. Then came March 31st, 1922. That day, Maria Baumgartner, hired to replace the previous maid who had quit because she believed the house was haunted, arrived to start her first day of work. What she didn't know was that it would also be her last. By the evening, the 6 members of the Gruber household had vanished into eternity. For days, neighbors noticed something odd. The family was conspicuously absent from church on Sunday. Victoria's daughter wasn't attending school. Something was off. Anxious, the neighbors decided to check on the farm. What they found would horrify them forever. Inside the barn, neatly hidden beneath a stack of hay, lay the bodies of Andreas, his wife Cecilia, Victoria, and her 7-year-old daughter. Each face had been obliterated by vicious blows from what police believed to be a mattock, a farming tool with a blunt, crude blade. Worst of all, Victoria's younger child, 2-year-old Joseph, and the maid, Maria, were found murdered in the home. All had met the same grisly fate. The scene was horrific, yet disturbingly calm. Animals were fed. Fires had been lit, and food appeared to have been recently eaten. The killer didn't simply take lives. They stayed behind as the caretaker of the farm for several days. That dreadful detail added an unimaginable layer of darkness to the mystery. After the discovery, police descended on Hinterkaifeck, determined to solve this heinous crime. They initially questioned neighbors and villagers. Over 100 individuals were interrogated, yet no solid suspect emerged. Attention soon turned to Victoria's relationships. A widow, she had a scandalous affair with a local man and an alleged incestuous relationship with her father, Andreas. a secret whispered behind closed doors in the village. Could jealousy or revenge be the motive? Still, no definitive answers could be found. Detectives noted eerie details at the scene. Forensics at the time were rudimentary, but even they confirmed, based on the bodies, that at least one family member had remained alive for hours after the attack. 7-year-old Kazilia had clutched tufts of her own hair, signs she had torn them out due to sheer terror or pain. Imagine the unspeakable fear she endured in her final moments. Decades later, modern forensic analysis attempted to shed fresh light on the case, but alas, the passage of time rendered any tangible evidence nearly useless. A century's worth of rumors, failed leads, and theories cloud the truth of what happened. Some believe the crime was premeditated murder, committed by someone familiar with the family, while others suggest paranormal explanations due to the supernatural elements leading up to it. What continues to haunt researchers is the sheer audacity with which the perpetrator not only killed, but inhabited the home afterward. Who was capable of carrying out an act requiring such calculated savagery and composure? Was it one person or multiple? The true answer remains locked in the shadows. Let's explore a few of the more bizarre theories. One theory suggests the act was carried out by a drifter, someone wandering across the countryside who stumbled upon the farm and chose to attack. But attackers rarely vanish so seamlessly, leaving no trail. The theory of a spurned lover, though plausible, doesn't explain the eerie activity on the farm beforehand. Then there is the possibility that the murderer was someone within the family, a hypothesis that entraps the case further in tragic irony. Today, Hinterkaifeck no longer exists in its original form. The farmstead was demolished a year after the murders, a symbolic attempt perhaps to erase the memory of its gruesome history. Yet, how do you erase such dread from collective memory? Legends grow in the absence of facts, and this case is no exception. Some people visit the site today, feeling chills as they stand where the ominous barn once stood. Locals whisper that the area still carries an air of sorrow, as though the land itself is begging for justice that will never come. So why does this case continue to grip us? Is it simply the enigma of an unsolved crime? Or is it the proximity, the reminder that while the Gruber family lived in isolation, the terror that found them could find any of us? In truth, the Hinterkaifeck mystery resonates because it touches on humanity's deepest fears, the unknown, the uncontrollable, and the things that go bump in the night. This, dear viewer, is why the story of Hinterkaifeck deserves to be told. It's more than just a tale of tragedy. It's a haunting reminder of how utterly bizarre and inhuman life can sometimes seem. What would you do if you found unexplained footprints outside your house? Strange noises from your attic late at night? Would you leave? Or would you stay, praying that it's all in your imagination? Let this story linger in your thoughts. Let it remind you that some mysteries are never meant to be solved.